Hi guys, and welcome once again back here to my podcast channel. It is myself, Josie, with Josie Says. Pues está cabrón. If you guys haven't done so, I do want to remind you guys that I am on Instagram. So the easiest way to get there is go down below to the description box, look for the link, press it, follow me, and enjoy the show. If you guys want to just do a search on me, this is my name on Instagram, Josie Says Pues. Again, search it, find me, follow me, and enjoy the show. So as you guys can tell by the title, this is not a topic that I have asked on my Instagram, and it's also not a topic that it's going to be talked about or my opinion about. It is about clarification about what this show is about and clarification about many things that have occurred. If you guys are new to my YouTube channel, I do have a podcast that I've had over a year now with over 400 listeners. And last time I counted, I'm up to 38 episodes, I believe, on a lot of topics that are cabrón topics. Therefore, Josie Says, pues está cabrón. When I started a year ago, I did tell everybody that my podcast was going to be based on a lot of my experiences or stuff that I've seen throughout the years. I do talk a lot about my marriage in this podcast. I have been married. It's going to be 7 years on the 20th of March. And I have been with my husband about 13 years. I've known him almost 18, 19-ish years. So I do talk a lot about my marriage on there only because that's the only way I know how to give advice, because just like any marriage, my husband and I have been to hell and back, and we have our lows and we had our highs, and that currently are our highs, and I want to keep it that way. So what else can I say? Another thing about myself also is that I do tell my husband everything. He knows everything, anything, and everything about me. Did that make sense? There is no secret I keep from him. And so if you're a guy and you have hit on me, he knows about it. If you're somebody who DM me a very negative comment about a podcast, he knows about it. He knows about everything, right? So on my end, before you guys start spilling the tea about his secrets, I tell him everything. I mean, that's just me. I keep no secrets. So anytime I do a podcast episode and tell him what it's gonna be about, he'll be like, oh yeah, ahora qué? Oh no, ¿qué happened? And I literally have to show him the DMs from you guys. Look, baby, they want to know, so this is what I'm asking. So then he'll be like, oh, okay, right. Just know a lot of people are not gonna be happy with you, or that's a good topic. A lot of people are gonna be for you, and that's just the territory, I guess, that comes with being a podcast channel that has a lot of topics that are really, like I said, stuck out on situations where there is no right or wrong answer. There's always right? I also do talk about my past experiences on here, or relationships. You know, my first boyfriend was when I was 13 years old, and I dated throughout until, you know, I got with my husband. I got with him when I was 25. So that puts me at what? 12 years. 12, woo, that's a lot of years. 12 years of long-term relationships. I've never had like little boyfriends here or there. They've always been long-term relationships. Between, like I said, just like when you're younger, I was cheated on. I was the cheater. And you learn a lot from those experiences, right? Of being the cheater and being cheated on. When you get cheated on, you learn that, well, you know, life's not over. You will survive. Life goes on. At that moment, you do feel like, oh my God, me voy a morir, ¿qué es eso? I'm never going to find love again, you know? And then if you're the cheater, then you learn, oh crap, you know, what goes around comes around. And then you're questioning a lot of stuff that the person who's not cheating on you does, because you're the cheater, right? So you're like, oh, ¿por qué hace eso si yo lo ando haciendo? So it puts in a very nasty place. So like I said, being the cheater and the cheatee, I guess you could say, you learn a lot of things, okay? Like I mentioned, I have had a couple of you guys hit me up in my DMs. I'm like, are you talking about me? Why are you talking about me? You better stop talking about me. Oh, that sounds very similar to so, you know, insert name here. And then that's the stuff that baffles me. And I think this is what this episode is about. I feel like a podcast of my nature will speak to a lot of people, just like songs do, right? Vicente Fernandez came out with La Derrota. I don't know if you guys know who Vicente Fernandez is. And his song talks about, you know, is it, oh, la diferencia, you know, that if, you know, in your place, I would love you, you did never love me, blah, 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 right? So when you're heartbroken, it talks to you. Now, do you guys hit up Vicente and be like, Chente, why are you talking about my relationship for? You know, that song's all about me. No, I'm pretty sure you guys don't. But because, you know, that's why his songs were so big and are so big, is because we all have gone through a similar situation. So I get baffled and taken back when people start DMing me and after I block them, start looking for me in other revenues of media to get their point across. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, let me explain myself. Because there is a situation going on right now. And as of right now, like I said, my twin sister is another person who I don't tell almost everything to, but majority of times do. So I think 98% of the things I do tell my sister versus 100% to my husband. And she always has an opinion about it. And sometimes she's on my end, and then sometimes she's like, oh, you're crazy. Why would you say that? What would you think about that? She doesn't know about this situation. And the reason I purposely left her out about this situation was because she doesn't like how I say because I need to see if she can figure it out, because a lot of the times I feel like maybe she knows what I'm talking about, and that's why she's so biased. Like, I knew who you're talking about. Yeah, but I have told you before about this situation. So now, without her telling her, this is a little experiment for her as well. So like I said, I a lot of the times you guys do DM me. A lot of the times you guys like, oh, that sounds familiar, and I explain to you it's not. You guys leave it alone. Go on and be home. Like I said, a lot of the times, 98% of the times, I am talking about a specific person or situation. They don't ever DM me. And 100% of the time, the person that I'm not have nothing to do with whatever I'm trying to explain DMs me. So keep that in mind, guys. Like I said, I talk about everything on here, and the majority of the time is the listeners trying to ask for something. I have another episode I'm working on the thumbnail about a lady, a friend, you could call her a friend, wants to know who's at fault when you cheat, when, you know, the husband cheats, because she's been cheated on, right? And she wants to know everybody's outlook. Is it the girl who knew he was married, or the guy who knew he was married? And I'm going to put it out there. And guys, we all know somebody whose husband or wife has been cheated on, or they were the cheaters. So I don't understand, like I said, why this situation is happening. I had blocked a couple of people that I really didn't want part of my life. And somehow they found me again and got a hold of me and want to talk to me. I did not know that on Facebook, there's a section that you hit that people who don't know you can hit you up. So, it kept on telling me on my messenger that I had somebody who messaged me, and I take that very seriously, because as you guys know, I do have a side business, and a lot of the time I do my selling through Facebook, and a lot of the time that's how I get a lot of increase through Facebook Messenger. So I'm like, oh my God, I hope it's not somebody, you know, who wanted invitations. It's already too late. So I found about that thing after I Googled it. And sure enough, I have like so many missed opportunities for, you know, invitations and parties. And then I, you know, went through all of them and started deleting them. And then I came to a most recent one. And I'm going to tell you guys, it was a paragraph. It was a novel. It was about this big and then the little one. So I read it and I'm like, what the hell? Okay. What is this about? And the person who hit me up tried to implement other people. Now, without saying too much, I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, even though my husband and I have been through hell and back, I have been very happy with him these past 13 plus years. I tend to leave my past in the past. So even though I talk about it, I talk about, you know, ex-boyfriends and ex-relationships and how things didn't, you know, they fell apart or didn't fall apart. I don't ever think about them. I don't ever hit them up like, oh my God, you should hear my podcast. I was talking about you. I mean, there's only one person that follows me through social media that's in my past. And I've spoken about him a couple of times on my podcast, and not once have I heard him hit up and be like, wait, yo, what are you talking about me? And it's hard for me and difficult for me to understand how you guys know I am talking about you guys because, like I said, I've had a couple of ex-boyfriends, I can't just say, oh, I have one. No, maybe 4 guys. Like I said, I started having my first boyfriend was very, very young. So, they wanted to talk to me. They wanted to settle something. They have questions. And I'm like, you still have questions? About what? And if you're listening to this and you're that person and you're like, oh crap, hello, hi, yes, I did read it. I went ahead and blocked that page because, first of all, I don't know if it's fake because given the situation of this person who messaged me, it's connected to too much drama and too much lies and drama of other people around it. And I don't know if you guys know me, the almost 40-year-old Josie. I hate drama. I hate it with a passion. I may be a comadre and I may, be, know a couple of chisme here or there, but I hate drama. I don't know if you guys heard an episode of mine in my original podcast. I'm that girl that if I sat there in front of a circle and y'all were talking shit about another person who wasn't in that circle, and I see that person the next day, they're not going to know who was talking shit about them in that circle because that just leads to more drama. If I know drama, I keep it to myself because I hate it. The other day, my sister messaged me about this one this one makeup artist who's a parolee or on probation or something, but she's making her money and then my twin's like, oh, she reminds me of Josie. And I'm like, I'm not tatted up. I wasn't ever in jail. What the hell? And she's like, no, she has your attitude, Josie. She has your, I don't take shit from anybody and I don't want to hear the drama, right? Because, guys, to tell you the truth, I don't even let my sisters tell me drama about their lives because the way I see it is pa qué, right? It doesn't work that way. So just like me, I keep my stuff private about my relationship with my husband, and my sisters do too as well because I don't want to hear it. It just that's like untouched chisme right there. But we do chisme about all you other people too. So anyway, so back to this situation. So I'm going to tell you guys why I was baffled. So the first thing I do is I run outside. My husband was working on his truck. And I went outside. I go, look at this heifer. Right? So I'm reading it to him. And he is pissed. So my husband goes from 0 to 1,000 like that. My sister tells me I'm the same way. I like to think things through before I have a reaction. So he got pissed and I go, what does this bitch think she's doing? And then my husband's like, it's probably because of your podcast, because you call out everybody, que te dije, right? Because he's seen the other messages I've gotten. And I said, oh, okay, baby, but how the hell did you find me? How the hell did you find my podcast? One, I only have but like 70. No, I have 100 followers on my Instagram. I do have more than 400, which I know you guys are listening without wanting to follow all the ghost people. Hello, guys. So, but how the hell did you find me? This situation is from my past 18 years ago, 14 years ago. 18 years ago. So this is way in my, I don't care about that anymore. Like, her? Right? So to look for me, to find me, to say I've been thinking about messaging you and here I am, to the point to tell me I know so-and-so is not going to be happy I did. Like, first of all, I'm like, okay, is this real? Is this fake? There's a lot of association with that. What I also think is this a fake Facebook to try to get to me to start stuff because somebody just, there's another person out there who likes the drama and can't live without the drama. But so to make things clear, guys, if anything I say to give an example or give an advice of my past affects you, then you need to go get psychological help. And this is an all joke aside, go get some help. Because if you're still living in the past, like I can't even live 2 years ago, but if you're still living 15, 16 years ago in that kind of past, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I really don't know what to tell you. I don't get bothered. I take it, like I said, I'm taking back that my name is still involved in crap from like 15, 16 years ago. I don't understand how that works. And like I said, I have mentioned more than a couple of my ex-boyfriends on the podcast, giving you guys different situations, because that's what happens as you grow up. You date, you find out what you didn't want from that relationship, you move on. Now you know what you don't want from the previous, but if this didn't work, and and you start making a mental note, ladies, a mental list of the things I do like and don't like, and the things I'm not going to permit to happen again. So by the time you get to, your one and only, your forever, the list is perfect. And whoever you decided to be with now is the reason why you're with them, because they just had everything on the list. My thing, I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't message me. Don't message me for petty stuff. I don't care. I don't need anybody's apology, and I don't have to apologize for being Josie. If you have things that you heard in my podcast that aren't suitable with you, then that's a you situation. Like I said, go get help if things like that are still bothering you. In conclusion, I guess you can say, because I've been all over the place, is this podcast was meant for the listeners, for you guys to tell me about situations that are happening, and then me telling you guys some advice on how I dealt with it, and then also getting opinions of my listeners on how they dealt with things. Like I said, the next one's going to be about men cheating when they're married. And I know everybody's going to have an opinion about that, and then I'll give you guys my opinions in situations that occurred. And like I said, it's not necessarily talking about you. It's just we all fit into it, because at our age, we've all gone through it a couple of times. Like I said, you guys don't call Chente and talking about why'd you write a song about me, right? So really, guys, if you're going to go through all that trouble to locate me, don't. Don't, because I really don't care. I don't care. It's a free country. I can speak whatever I want. If you guys get offended by anything I tell you guys, and this is not going to be, this is not the podcast you're going to like. Like I said, I do give a lot of raw advice, unapologetic advice. So just know that if the shoe fits, maybe you guys can analyze yourself. If the shoe doesn't fit, then maybe you guys can learn in the future, just in case you get in a situation that, I talk about. But yeah, guys, I really don't care. And if you are that person that got a hold of me, and now you're looking at me on YouTube, a ver cómo se ve, obviously you guys know I don't care. I don't wear makeup to do my podcast or any of my other YouTube channels. I'm very happy with life. I'm happy with my kids. I'm happy with my husband. Like I said, right now, as the world is turning, we are concentrating on staying safe, and to add any other wannabe drama on top of it, I'm not about drama. I'm not going to give you drama. I did block you, and that's just the end of that, guys. Like I said, if you feel that the podcast is about you, then maybe it is. If the shoe fits. I've gotten, like I said, many messages of the opposite. Thank you for having a podcast like you are. You go, girl. Thank you for having Mother-in-Law in Hell. Man, let me tell you about mine. Or thank you for talking about this, because here's my situation. So, I don't know, guys. I know I was all over the place. I just felt like I needed to tell you guys what was going on and explain myself and what about this podcast. And to tell whoever that person is and is watching me, I know you are. I don't care. Or the fake person, if it is fake person doing a fake profile to start fake drama, I don't care, and you should have already known that about me. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Have you guys ever been in a situation like that where people try to reach you guys and you're like, what does this have to do with anything? Or try to bring your spouse's, past in play where you really don't care? Let me know down below in the comments. And I would love to hear what you guys' thoughts are about this. Until then, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and all that fun stuff so you guys know when I upload another awesome episode. I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.